Greetings, YouTube. Thanks for tuning in. My name's Troy. I'm a former fat guy sharing my story with the hopes that it might help somebody else. If it helps one person, it was worth it. If you support me in that, what I ask is that you take a second to smash that subscribe button. Doesn't cost you a thing, but it means the world to me. In today's video, we're going to talk about some weight loss stuff. More specifically, we're going to talk about some fat loss stuff, some things that I've found to be helpful to keep in mind on our fat loss journey. If you find value in this, I'd love for you to let me know with a thumbs up. And I'd also love to hear what's working well for you, because we're all different. And that's kind of like part of this is just finding really what works for us. So that's what this channel's all about. Welcome. So here's some things that I noticed that maybe can stand in the way of us when we're on our fat loss journey. Number one, condiments and sauces. The reason I mention this is because if you haven't been living under a rock and you've been trying to lose some weight, you've been trying to lose some body fat, well then I hope by now you've come across the concept of eating clean. And so I'm just going to use chicken breast as an example, because many of us, when we start to eat clean, right, we go to that white meat chicken breast because it's high in protein, low in fat, and it's really clean. It's a clean food, right? But with that, what we sometimes find, what I find, is that, boy, I tell you what, it can be hard to get that chicken breast down sometimes, right? You don't feel like eating the chicken breast because it's so bland. So what we do is, I add barbecue sauce, and now here's the sabotage, right? Think about what that barbecue sauce is. It's a lot of sugar, right? There's probably a lot of sodium in there too, and we're gumming up the works in terms of losing weight when we start overdoing it with that. Also, I notice when I'm adding sauces and things, right, putting gravy on everything, what do I end up doing? I end up eating more. So sauces, condiments, I would invite you to bring your attention to these things if you've been on your weight loss journey and you feel like maybe you're struggling, you feel like you're not losing the body fat that you should be. Sometimes it has to do with we're putting on too much, XYZ, barbecue sauce, ketchup, right? I love these things, but boy, are they a sabotage. Something to think about. Next, guys, don't shoot the messenger here, but just consider this fruit, okay? Fruit. It's healthful. It's so good for you, right? I'll never tell you to cut out fruit, but it's also very sweet. It's quite delicious. Sometimes I find for me, it's easy to overdo it on the fruit. And I tell you what, if you're overdoing it on the fruit, you're not going to lose that body fat, because it's such a good source of energy for your body that if you're overdoing it, well then your body's not going to tap into its energy reserves, okay? So fruit is good from a health standpoint. Eat fruit for sure. But if you're having trouble losing body fat and you find that maybe you're hungry because you're dieting, you're cutting back and you're doing good, right? You're eating clean. That's great. Eating fruit is a part of that. But sometimes I notice that I'm having too much fruit. So bringing your attention to the amount of fruit that you're eating and maybe scaling it back a little bit to maybe one piece a day. Because it's easy to have one piece and it tastes so good, right? Nothing goes better with one piece of fruit than another piece of fruit. But if it turns into 3 or 4 bananas, or you're eating the whole thing of grapes, or what I find myself doing in the season is I eat a whole half a watermelon or the whole watermelon. And honestly, if you're trying to make progress in terms of fat loss, that can sabotage you guys. Something to consider. Finally, and again, people feel sensitive about this one, and I'm not trying to poke you in a sensitive area. I'm just going to put it out there, and you can think about it yourself and what it means for you, but I'm just going to say it. Alcohol. All right, now, I support people in their decision to mindfully consume alcohol as adults, right? That's part of the adult experience. But what I notice is that it's just not worth it in terms of I have some vodka drinks and I feel great, right, for that night. But then for probably the next 3 days or so, Everything about my body is off. And I find that it affects my look, it affects my joints, the way that I feel, my energy. I feel like there's a backlash in terms of holding water and just, I don't feel like it's worth it, guys, for me. And so the reason I bring it up is because you can be doing everything right, but if you're sabotaging yourself by consuming this little thing that's messing up your body so bad for that long, consistently, then you're consistently in a state where you're not able to make progress. And you could be working really hard and not making any progress. You're just kind of treading water because, you're having those drinks. Even if it's once a week, right? Think about what if it's throwing you off for 3 or 4 days. If you're doing it once a week, then the majority of the time, every single week, you're not in the space that you need to be able to make progress. Guys, I'd never tell you what to do, what to think. It's just some things to think about. Condiments and sauces, too much fruit, and consuming alcohol. It's a troubleshoot. I'd love to hear your thoughts. I'd love to see your thumbs up, thumbs down, smash a subscribe. We'll see you in the next one. I love y'all. Peace.